I want to know what's going on over there. I want to know what's going on over there. How is this happening?
Heroic playing so well, they gained 6% on the board, and now they gotta work for it just to prove those haters wrong once more. Nurk being banned, just like it was in the previous map, that is going to be FaZe's ban. Heroic's turn on their attacking side will choose, bada bing, the Lion. Now, FaZe Clan, they were playing Lion almost every single attack on that first half, and it had mixed results, but given the fact that FaZe came out with 4 rounds on their attacking side, it makes sense why you would want to ban out this operator.
Yeah, absolutely. Valkyrie will follow. Valk, an incredibly strong operator on a map like Bank, because those Valk cams can be put anywhere. And the bigger a room, the more hiding spots that a Valk cam can typically go in. You will be watched and you will be surveilled the whole time. Solus, another strong operator, but it's a zombie that actually ends up getting banned out. So I suspect that we're actually going to see a fair bit of Solus play here. Nook is a no-brainer, not just as a counterban against teams, but because Nook is probably one of the strongest operators on Bank. You don't want her to be able to just sneak in, doesn't matter the bomb site, and do serious damage. I was correct about the Solus, picked immediately by Astra.
Oh, it's a good read. And yeah, I think if you're FaZe Clan, just looking at how they play Siege overall, they like calculated gameplay. I think Nurk is one of probably the most frustrating operator to deal with when you're on the defensive side, because it kind of takes all those calculations straight into the trash, right? You can't see her on the cameras, you can't hear her very well. She also has that extra set of grenades that you normally don't have to deal with. So just taking that off the board, everything you see is actually true. There can't be a ghost lingering around somewhere. Those default cameras will grant you some valuable information. It's also why Heroic, or any attacking team for that matter, on every single map, you want to get as many of those default cameras killed as quickly as possible. It's also why an operator like Twitch sees more and more play these days, because you can toss those Twitch drones in, drive them around once the action phase begins, and then take out those cameras. That way the defenders, they won't know where you're entering from, and it's all thanks to a drone that's just driving around the building. You don't actually have any physical presence in the map. Heroic, however, showing off the Monty, so they keep bringing these kind of, because sometimes it's cheese operators. It's going to be a fast server takes.
Oh, they're going
tunnel
quickly, Nick.
Yep.
They'll immediately hit that barbed wire, but Souls is there with the SMG out, reduced to a single point of HP, and likely saw that there was more than one. It wasn't just Heroic, it was Heroic and friends. The Monty of Uno already taking up space inside of server, and he spots CCTV. Bullets whiz past from deep inside a locker. Those soft walls, very inviting. They can open them up. Heroic have effectively boxed FaZe out of blue and server. Put down a Claymore should you have one, and you've got yourself some pretty decent flank watch. Unfortunately, there is no dedicated flank watch for Heroic. No Claymores, no Nomad on the board, no Gridlock, no Grim, nothing.
With the A hatch being opened up for FaZe, and they are still on the roam, Heroic have to plan on that deep one side of server instead of that default soft wall that presented itself, unless they take open area control first. It seems to be the play, as Noodle and Sloth are both rotating to that area of the map. I'm not sure if trading Doom's life for full server control was worth it. Souls on the smoke, 1 HP, could get injured by the Twitch drone. And once that A hatch control has been covered by Heroic, Uno could start baiting out this plant. Right now, Uno's job is to bait out those toxic babes, try and bait out a C4, just burn down that utility, because that's the one thing stopping them from getting that diffuser down. And as you just saw Grizzly whiffing on that Yokai drone, that is also going to be a difficult thing for Hero to deal with in this round. Nice shot.
That was a nice shot, absolutely. Diffuser going down. Astro has a long line of sight from above, but no rotation down because the hatch is fully installed. They absolutely do. And Soul's still on 1 HP, so he will be a single bullet away from death. This is a 4v4 contest with the diffuser working away against this defensive FaZe clan. I don't know if Astro's been spotted upstairs. Vidaking punished by Sloth. There's more damage done as well, and they just continue to walk into the crosshairs of Heroic. Nicely played by Heroic to lock it out.
Yeah, he shot the smoke. Wow. That was so clean.
That was very, very clean, I have to say. I mean, sure, you lost Doom early on, but you got the ground you wanted. And I was going to say that's as close to a flawless execute as it could have been, because that was pretty much played out perfectly by Heroic. Given the fact that FaZe had both a Yokai, 2 Toxic Babes, a C4, it was absolutely criminal that Uno could just stop planting with 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the round, absolutely uncontested. The Toxic Babe was tossed out at the last second and a half of the plant. It did 2 ticks of damage to Uno before the postman was initiated. Then Uno will plant in that door. Sloth with the DMR and a nice scope. Behind him has that heavy angle. And the server hatch behind Heroic is even reinforced. So the flank from Astro doesn't do anything against Heroic. And it made their lives so much easier. I'll say it again, Heroic looking much better today than that of yesterday.
Oh, that's for sure. And that round in particular is a perfect example of those entry stats that we saw before this match started. They surrender the first pick, but then only 1 other player dies after that. Heroic still have 3 players left. The 4th player who died was, or the 2nd player who died was impactless because it was Astro getting back to the bomb site.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you break in, you get the diffuser down, you're great. Yeah, you sacrifice somebody really early on, it's gonna happen again. Jube dies early for the 2nd round in a row. But look at an almost immediate reaction. Bullet has been down. I wonder if they'll be able to capitalize off this. They see it, they have information. This is huge. Sloth might be able to pick up a couple kills here. He's in the hunt. They get out of there. Darn. I wanted bloodshed.
I mean, I agree with you, but FaZe, they don't want to fight, it seems like, right? They keep giving up ground, happily so. And then Heroic says, thank you for that ground. Wait 1.5 minutes, we'll be planting. And then Heroic, they take the round again. FaZe, they are refusing to fight where they can, unless Heroic are running literally in their faces, as Doom just did. This 4v4 arguably favors the attackers because you can take that top floor control, open up the hatches, destroy the floor, box alive. And sure, there are 2 C4s in pocket of FaZe. That's the only plant deny they have. No smoke. And honestly, the solids on this particular bomb site not gonna find that much value into the plant deny. You can't play below the bomb site here. And the top floor, you lost control.
Sloth making an awful lot of noise above. As one Buck does.
Oh yeah.
Astro on flank. Noodle might be able to catch him. He got a good read on the side of Heroic up top early on, but then everybody scattered. And so the drop on those main stairs. Uno might be going in blind. I haven't seen it. Oh no, there's a drone directly in front of him by main stairs. Sometimes those silhouettes are hard to see.
Yeah, it's been that drone and Sloth clearing it vertically with the box shells. Uno is still clearing some corners, thinking maybe it hasn't been cleared for me, but it has. Note, Sloth in the box does not have the can opener, so the corner hatch of office cannot get opened on up. That's gonna be slightly problematic. FaZe has less angles to worry about.
Flashing their way in, Astro gets spotted and he has to go back downstairs. It's a long run, a slow round for both of these teams. The aggressive roam was working out quite well, but now Heroic are in trouble if they don't quicken the pace. They have no intel, they run right in, Cyber pushes them back, but there's 2 kills from Heroic, and Uno might save shelter to get that diffuser down. He's at the halfway point, it's Astro in a 1v3, and he's not gonna find anybody. Noodle gives Heroic their 2nd round in a row.
I think we fucked up on a prep a bit, Chris, because like I was told to go in lobby and open cashbacks.
Yeah, but I think you have to get hatches first.
Yep.
So slow.
There it is.
Job, Sloth. Thanks, bro.
Good thing we found a way.
Another round, by the way, where FaZe gets the opening pick.
Yeah.
20 seconds later, Heroic answers back, and then Heroic wins the round. They are 0 for 2 on converting opening picks because they don't get the opening pick. FaZe having to break their timeout after the 2nd round is very bad.
Despite Heroic winning, they instantly go, I think we messed up the prep work. Something wasn't covered.
Something changed.
Taking a tactical timeout here. The coach talking some sense into the situation. Pointing out the flaws, I'm sure.
Eu ia ajudar lá naquela hora. E é isso que eu tô falando, tá, galera? Não vamos deixar os caras jogar o jogo deles. Vamos impor o nosso.
Say it. Say what I know you want to say.
What do I want to say, Parker? So I honestly am not quite sure.
What do you want to say here?
I mean, what do I want to say here? Oh, as a coach, you mean?
No, what do you want to say as a caster in this situation? Say it. You want to speak Portuguese? Say it.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna say that. See, ever since you pointed it out, I've been like embarrassed to say it a third time, so I'm kind of like toned that off, you know? I would love to hear and understand what they're saying, you know, but... No, I honestly, I feel for the coach of FaZe right now because I imagine this is a very frustrating situation to be in as a coach, where you have a game plan coming into it, you look really good, you know, 4 rounds in a row on the first map of Chalet, things are looking up. Then you don't just start losing rounds, you start getting humiliated at how easy it is to plant against you. And I say this because planting as an attacking team is should be one of the most difficult things to accomplish, because the entire point of defensive setup is to make sure that the attackers do not get to a plant, because that means that they win more often than not. In Heroic, they are planting more attacks than they aren't. And they're not doing it by fighting tooth and nail till the last player, to the last second. They're doing it usually very quickly, with the exception of last round. And they're doing so very effortlessly. And it comes down to FaZe surrendering so much map ground time and time again, not really seeming like they want to fight back. I like this roam from them, but it gets shut down immediately.
Wow. Heroic getting their very first opening duel in their favor. First blood accomplished. Astro loves this Solus role. Talked about the prevalence that we will see of a Solus and how often she will show up. I don't know if Astro's been very successful. A lot of people seem to think that the purpose of most roams is to get kills, and that's not often the case.
Oh.
Somebody like Astro being on Solus, primary focus is going to be...
What? He's just gone.
Not that. That's not the primary focus. Primary focus of Solus. Find drones. Find where they're coming from. Find gadgetry. Get a good sense of where the execute is coming from. If you can get some kills or kill some drones in the process, that's pretty damn good. But generally, you want to set your team up for success. And Solus is a tremendously good operator at doing that. Maestro is as well. Valkyrie is too. Mira does that. Unfortunately, sacrificing yourself as early as Astro has, and he was the saving grace of the previous map, to have him now 0-3, well, that could be the death knell for FaZe if he doesn't wake up.
Man, the roam was good, but again, Heroic, they have solutions for most of these things, it appears. FaZe, they had 2 members roaming, then 3 members deep on the bomb site. No one really playing that middle ground to assist and escort someone back if they needed help. I mean, to be fair, what we saw, no help could really be had, in all fairness. The bomb site is left with Yokai drones from Echo and 2 toxic babes from Souls. But it's going to be faced with, you know, every single hatch above. The walls of side of Hugo servers opened up as well. But it appears that Heroic are aiming for that backside execute with lobby and elevator hatch control instead of going for a server take.
I mean, they've got their plan, right? They seem to have a good idea of it. A very different approach from Heroic. They get to benefit from FaZe's timeout as well. Foregoing the Monty instead, it'll be a take towards the back. And Vida King could get flattened by this. He knows there's one on main stairs and suspects that there's one over towards elevator. There's a gas canister thrown out. Souls has none left. It'll linger for about another 10 seconds, but he loses his duel to Noodle. Heroic, get the green light. It's time to get in and get that diffuser down, and Uno will do that safely right next to the desk. Souls will not be able to do a single thing about it. Bullet has no yokais left, so it's all up to Souls to make something happen, but he's taking a ton of damage. Up he goes, and 40 seconds left. He's buried downstairs inside of CCTV. We talked about the dominance of these rounds. Another round where there was only a single death for Heroic. Things have not changed on Bank compared to Chalet.
No, not at all. FaZe having the same problem as on Chalet. Once a problem occurs, they can't seem to troubleshoot. I mean, they tried that last round. They said, you know, playing too passive, get out on the map, send 2 roamers upstairs. But within 20 seconds, the first person fell. Less than a minute later, the second roamer died as well. And I will say the solace from Astro and from FaZe as a team, almost 0 value so far. Not finding drones, not finding any kills, and not really finding any information you can really work or act upon. It's a similar story with the Pulse. If you're playing Pulse, you're not scanning anybody on that cardiac sensor. You're just a glorified gun walking around the map, essentially. It feels like you're doing something because you're, you know, figuring out where the enemy aren't playing at. but you can't act upon any of it. And then all of a sudden, they punch your window from 20 meters away, you get shot in the back, you're dead. Your gadget doesn't matter in that scenario. Unless you're a Clash, that shield can protect you, but that's it. Speaking of shields, Uno again hovering the Monty in the last couple of seconds of the attack of repick phase. This time, it won't be for a basement attack, it'll be for that open area. This is not a bomb site we see Monty being played on almost ever. So I'm very curious to see what the plan is, because Heroic, they have so much prep work for this matchup. On Chalet, didn't seem to be as much, but on Bank, every single round has a tailored strategy.
And this is a deliberate choice. They could have attacked or repicked off of it if they want to. This isn't the olden days where it was 6th pick and you could only change one operator, or even prior to that where you couldn't change any. You have pretty much all but the final 5 seconds of the prep phase to say a Monty doesn't make sense here. I'm wondering if the gamble that they're going to make is get the Monty into staff area very quickly and have somebody crouch in that doorway and just try to get the diffuser down fast.
Could be that simple.
I mean, there's no smoke on the board.
No.
There's a Nitro cell. 2 Nitro cells, technically, and a Maestro. The Maestro will be the first line of defense. Uno has the diffuser, by the way. Souls does a double take as he sees the Monty go in. Impact grenade's good enough to take out the Selma. Cyber the first one to take some damage. Sloth goes down. First blood for FaZe. That's big. That's very big. And that's the Ash down, too. I imagine the Ash was likely situated upstairs. Uno stalling, waiting for Joom to come to the rescue. You need really precise calls here. Joom wins that duel, but there's 2 more that have now been summoned inside of open area. Diffuser going down by Uno. That was the opening that they need, and FaZe cannot stop this. I don't think the Nitro cell can reach. So now we're in a post plant with 8 players still upright. Both teams have 4 still alive, and this is going to get real ugly. The Monty can sit in the corner. Vita King waiting, doing serious damage. Great coordination. The Uno has been dropped down. Now he's secured. But there's still 3 players from Heroic. Make that 2. A flash on in. Down goes Grizzly. Heroic knew what they wanted to do. Joom to the rescue, potentially. Vita King has been downed. Bullet from above to retake. The timer's running out, though. 2 players from FaZe perish. It's all up to Joom to save this. They take him out, but they have 2 seconds to get on it. Cyber saves the day. He's close enough. But your heart's got to be beating, because with a 1.5 seconds left, FaZe are able to disable it and pick up their first round on their own map.
It's a very good retake from FaZe. They problem solved that perfectly, right? Step 1, the Monty's a problem granting all that information. How do we deal with the Monty? Well, toss a C4, pop that C4 itself, make that shield wiggle, and then Vita King flicks over and does the final bit of damage needed to injure Uno, take him down the ground. No one from Heroic on that deep server stairs position might be the biggest mistake that they made so far in this matchup, because one member inside of that janitor's closet can't get the angle towards the diffuser on a white swing in the door itself, then you're exposed. The other member was bottom heaven with a flanker up above. If you are on that blue stairs, the server stairs, you can swing the person diffusing without exposing yourself to any of those positions yourself. So one small mistake from Heroic gets punished beautifully by the FaZe, and they showed up aggressively, with confidence, and they thought Heroic where they had to. That's a big step up from the previous rounds. Heroic, they saw how close they were, and their plan, it worked almost flawlessly again. So they can keep having confidence in their prep work. They're gonna show the Monty one more time, see if they can make up for the previous one. This time it's basement. Last time, only 1 member died, and then it was a flawless victory for Heroic on that server execute.
It's a close round, too, in the previous round, but
so close.
1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds. Look at the confidence. Oh, might be misplaced. Never mind. Oh,
never mind.
Nitro cell to secure the down onto Joom. But Noodle's right behind him. This is a 1-2 punch from Heroic. FaZe got the pick and then immediately got out of there. That's a smart thing to do. You don't know what's going to come. And there's 2 Monty picks that you've seen on the board so far. You don't know if a shield is following up. I mean, there is a Monty, just... It wasn't there?
No. On the end of the map. Uno has nobody behind him right now to escort him down that staircase, and A team injury, I believe, from an impact grenade or something. A C4, C4 rotate maybe? It was a C4 that popped from Cyber at least, it looks like.
That's a bit confusing.
Unfortunate. But he's back up with 20 HP.
Resets don't exist anymore.
No.
He does on Liquid, but not in-game. For those that don't know, you used to be able to get shot either if you had a Rook plate on or if you were shot through a wall, you would get down, but then you'd get brought back to life with 50 HP, half of your life.
That was crazy, actually.
And it was a kind of an understandable mechanic, but also a very goofy mechanic. And I understand why it doesn't exist anymore.
I think it's for the better. I mean, if you injure someone and they get back with half their HP, you feel like you gained nothing. Now it's 20. The fire doesn't reach.
It does not reach. They thought that they could pop the canister on the desk, but it doesn't drop to the floor. Uno takes next to no damage. It's not until the gas of souls actually hits him. 9 people alive in a post plant.
Again.
What is happening right now? How is FaZe allowing this? Now, the good news is they were great in the retake on that previous round. And they have an advantage this time. But this is a much harder bomb site to retake. They'll push off the Monty even more. Nice nade by Sloth, blows them all sky high. But Noodle's the only player with an active weapon. Fire will go, and Uno takes serious damage, lets the mirror get away, and he secures along with Noodle. Heroic in the post plant get it done this time, and if it wasn't for the previous round, that 2-second difference could mean a 5-0 for Heroic. It's a 4-1, that's still a chasm, especially on FaZe Clan's map. But this is what happened on Chalet. FaZe went up over Heroic 4-2, and Heroic still won the map.
It's true. Oh my god, that nade. Yeah, I mean, FaZe, they must feel kind of cheated out of that scenario, right? Because they popped the Goyo fire like they should, and then they get punished for it. The fire doesn't reach around the corner, if you will. Not saying that it's supposed to, just saying that they thought it did. And they trusted that fire to stop Uno from planting, and they realized that it's way too late that, oh, actually, this might not be working. Toxic Babe goes out, plant is already down. Heroic have planted basically every single round so far in Bank, both when they win and when they lose the round. It's the final attack for Heroic, and I don't know how they're gonna do in defense, but FaZe, no matter what, how strong Heroic are on side swap, they need this second round so they can go 4-2 into the night, and they can start attacking on Bank. Bank historically, since the rework and even before, is an attacker-favorite map. However, at SI 2023, we've seen a lot of defender-sided bomb sites and maps being played out, and that's for various reasons. Matchups, operator bans, etc. So it could just be an attacker for a Bank. Could be that simple.
That'll be the real test. A litmus test, if you want. It's Vidaking now playing on that Solus. They've taken Astro off of it. They're going to give him a sheltered role. I think that's a smart idea.
I agree with that. Give him some breathing room. Cyber below the C4. I mean, FaZe, they have been getting more active on these roamers, and it's going better and better round by round. But then, once they get that opening kill, they were very quick to fall back. Didn't want to stall any further seconds. They thought 1 kill is enough, and as we've seen statistically, FaZe, they get the opening kill, but they do not get the round, so falling back is not always the safest option. Nice shot, but it's a trade and a half, if you will.
Sloth goes down. FaZe have got 5 of the 6 first bloods, but only a single round to show for it at this point.
Swapping max.
Not necessarily where you want to be. In terms of conversion, FaZe are getting these opening picks and not winning the rounds. Yeah, they're not on entry, but they're still not converting these 5v4s that they keep finding themselves in. In this case, it's technically a 5v3. Cyberman just needs to be retrieved. Part of the bomb site now opened up. I have very fond memories of Uno playing on Gridlock. I've seen it before. Her gun is nasty.
Oh. Well, he's in.
Well, he is.
He's not just gonna plant with a Gridlock charge, right?
I think he's just gonna plant.
No.
Yeah. There it goes. Sloth on cover. Cyber goes down. Grizzly now on rappel, waiting for the vault out of paper. He sees one inside of that paper area. Nitro Cell goes out, another Nitro Cell will go in, and they all look for the same target. Uno's no more, but Diffuser still goes down. By the way, 6 rounds, 6 successful plants for Heroic. That is a stunning statistic. They're 50-50 on the post plant, though. This Bullet's waiting, and he gives his position away. They know exactly where he is. Only 2 players from Heroic. Timer starting to run. Somebody's got to get on it. Astro on the jump out. He's dead to Grizzly. Another goes out. It's a clown car, but there's the Nitro Cell. Oh, Noodle able to do some serious work. Vidaking will need to hop on the Diffuser. Has no time. Another good post plant from Heroic. What are we witnessing here? This match is absolutely nuts.
Open your eyes! How do I get these plants down?
Yeah, you can see it on his face. How do I get the plant down?
I don't know, bro. Do you know what? You know, go back 6 months, you didn't get a single plant down, you know what I mean?
Oh my god. Yeah, a bit of shade there. But I mean, Uno's right. I'm equally surprised and more stunned watching this because it's a 5 versus 3 effectively because Cyber was injured but not killed off. And then Uno just kind of crouch prone through a breach, no gadgetry, just holds F on the keyboard, and despite, you know, Solus being on the board, 2 C4s, etc., FaZe are unable to stop the plant from going down again. That has to be the most objective, heavy, and successful first half of a game I've ever seen, honestly.
Have we had? I'm sure we have.
Yeah.
This has got to be an obscure stat to find, and I apologize that I'm thrusting this upon you, stat folks. But have we ever had a single half in international competition where a diffuser has been planted all 6 times? Because think about it. 2 seconds separates 6 rounds that were won by the diffuser.
Yeah.
Because if they weren't able to get on the plant that fast on FaZe Clan's side, that round goes to Heroic at 6-0.
Yeah. Wow. I couldn't tell you from memory that we've seen at this level of play ever, international competition at least. And it's certainly not in recent history. Slav looking for a jump up. We've seen tons of these in this tournament, and there's another.
Oh, this one's gonna.
However,
this is gonna be tough. He almost got it. Astro 1-6, by the way.
It's his first kill.
This has been a rough game for Astro. June playing off of square stair door very confidently, and again, as June saw in the previous round, that confidence very much misplaced.
FaZe slowing things down. They are getting things under control after that early piece of tomfoolery from Sloth jumping out the window.
The Toms were indeed fooled.
Certainly were. Now this is going to be, of course, the first defensive heroic, so trying to find out what pace is appropriate here, and same thing goes with FaZe Clan Force, feeling each other out really. How fast are we gonna go, and where are we going to be attacking from? FaZe have a primary Heartbreacher Vibana and that secondary Heartbreacher in Ying with the can openers. And FaZe Clan, with Dogebi and Ying hand in hand, they have a lot of ways to execute this, right? Calls can come out, smokes get tossed in, flashbangs follows through, and no one from Europe can see. But they're just in as well.
Yeah.
Going fast.
And there's the Nitro Cell. It goes, but it doesn't connect. FaZe Clan have reduced Heroic to a single player. Noodle from above, and he will use a Nitro Cell to herald his entrance back to the bomb site. It's enough to scare Vidaking off of that diffuser. Candela's to go off. There's just so much time left in this round, Nick. A minute to go. Noodle gets to pick his poison. How are you going to get in? There's a hatch opened up to drop through vault. Is there a set of eyes on it? Vidaking stops the plant the final seconds. Nice shot by Noodle. Closing this gap. Look at Bullet's HP. I know that the F2 is a formidable gun, but all he needs to do is win this Noodle to move his team to series point. Can't secure onto Vida, and he doesn't know where Bullet is just yet. This is a young player for Heroic. Probably never been a more tense moment for him in his career. He hears the bleed out, has to work against the clock. They know exactly where he's coming from, and Bullet doesn't lose those. He was a single point of HP. Very, very close for Heroic. The 2 losses that Heroic have suffered to FaZe have been as close as they can pretty much get.
Beautiful entry from Souls. That's a DMR, by the way, just getting 3 kills back to back to back, all headshots as well. Uno got that 1 kill when he was defending the bomb site, but C4 went wide. It didn't land on that 2nd kill. Uno couldn't stall for time because FaZe did a really good job of just brute forcing their way through the bomb site. Recognized that if Uno stays alive much longer, backup will be approaching. That's when they can no longer plant. So Souls did a really good job of just getting in extremely quickly and granting his team that opening. That's how much one single player can do in some of these rounds. Open area bomb side, change things up for Heroic. They got a big lead, right? 5-2. But you can't let it slip away too fast. And when we saw them win that steal of round on top floor for Heroic, they were kind of celebrating, fooling around, and then it was like, "Oi, guys, serious time, like we can't lose this." Because when you can't get ahead of yourself when things look very easy. The issue is that when the side swap comes through, that old formula that you had that was working so well, it doesn't work anymore. You cannot plant as a defender. You cannot attack the bomb site as a defender. So now you gotta find success in a whole different area of the game. And FaZe, they go on their own preferred side of attacking on bank, as it is typically, as I said, an attacker's favorite map. These drones, the network that they have, I think they actually did not see Uno hiding inside the lobby. But the drone is there, and it's right above him actually on that monitor screen. So if Uno moves, they hear him. If they turn the drone, they see him. And if they do, he is more than likely just guaranteed dead.
They're very, very sneaky.
I
think you're underestimating his sneakiness, sir.
Maybe I am.
First kill goes to Uno. What did you talk about? Him inside of the lobby, still there. One on the windows as well from FaZe Clan. June was in a potential engagement above, but he drops. Logic bombs go off, so do the Candelas. Sloth might give his position away. I think he has a red dot under barrel sight.
Yep, got that laser.
Down goes Astro. Heroic sitting so pretty. There go the Candelas, and Sloth will drop. Nitro Cell ripped! Not close enough. The arc of the universe. You need to be taken into consideration there. FaZe walk away. Nitro Cell will go down. Cardiac sensor now giving Uno greater information, but on the other side of the wall, that's a bit cheeky, isn't it?
We spoke on that part, didn't we? We can't map the room above us.
Neither can Uno, apparently. I remember in one play day in NAL, Astralis, I think it was NAL, it might have been actually at a major, Astralis Nitro Celled a solid floor.
Yep, it happens, man.
Trying to memorize every nook and cranny above you. That's quite a challenge. There was a drone on Uno that entire time. He gets dispatched by a nade, thrown out by Bullet. Not his namesake. Damn shame, isn't it? Uno's been phenomenal so far in this matchup. Joom, who was very good on Chalet, has been quiet on his fragging rolls. Died a couple times on entry needlessly. His team still went on to win despite surrendering that first pick. FaZe Clan have all but one first blood so far. Well, 2 technically if you count this round, but the round's not over yet.
Not yet, but we're nearing the end. 30 seconds in FaZe. They're looking to execute, but with very limited entryways. Window and main stairs door is the only option they have, and they have no map controls to support those entry points either.
Vidaking gets taken down by Sloth. Nade in towards the elevator, but not where it needs to be. Bullet gets spotted by Joom. Joom looking for more than just 2 kills in this matchup. Win or lose, I'm sure he'll be unhappy with the performance. Bullet into small office, he gets taken down. Administrative duties, you know, they're not very sexy. Neither was that death. Soul's in a 1v4, and he's miles away from getting to the bomb site. Desperation sets in because of how dominant Heroic were in the first 2 rounds. FaZe had to take their time out early, and Heroic have been crushing them still since. There's no way to stop this bleeding for FaZe. They will continue to bleed as it's Heroic on series point, up 6-2 on FaZe's map.
I'm not that big of a fan.
Oh, he's not a fan of something. Sloth, tell us you're not a fan of, man. Come on.
Spit it out.
Spit it out. This is where FaZe Clan, they need something similar to a miracle, right? As you said, the parachute has been pulled. No tactical timer. That was called very early on after round number 2. Heroic, they have theirs still, but knowing Mr. Officer and knowing what most coaches, how they perceive tactical timeouts, you don't want to take your timeout unless you absolutely need to, because if you take yours as heroic, you give FaZe and their coach a chance to get back into this as a team as well. So I would not be surprised that Mr. Officer would hold on to that call all the way to 6-4, 6-5 if they have to. Maybe not even take it at all, go all the way to OT if you have to. Because you could be giving your opponent a way back in, and that's all on you. This is a Teller's defense? Yeah, it is. It's Teller's defense. This is very unusual. One of the lowest pick rate bomb sites in all of Rainbow Six Siege, together with Villa, Study Library bomb site as well. This used to be the secondary bomb site back before the rework, back in the way old days of Rainbow Six Siege. And this bomb site was absolutely atrocious, and it is for this simple reason: you cannot hold upstairs of CEO very easily. And that's also why Heroic, they aren't really playing here. The moment FaZe Clan gets top floor control, they can break the floor of the entire bomb sites, and you can't play there. So as a defender, you have to pick your fights early in the round and just win gunfights of sheer gun skill, because strategically you don't really have any easy ways to fight onto this bomb site itself. That's why you see Heroic playing upstairs, looking to go aggressive and finding these kills, because if they don't, then FaZe Clan can run away with this round rather easily.
King wants a fight early. Only 1 minute off of the clock on the double window rappel, midway through this upstairs portion of the map. Upside down, dueling going on. Sloth blinded from that, Grizzly taking damage. Not sure why these teams are so keen to attack the way that they are. Oh, Sloth will lose it to the Candela. Swing in, nope. Instead, it's Astro. 1 and 8, oh god, he's on Monty duty. He'll give information. Good scouting up towards Banana. He sees the Oryx, and there goes Choom and Sloth as well. Uno hits the mark, but FaZe have taken out 3 players. What did you say about this bomb site?
Yeah.
Heroic go to a bit of an unorthodox bomb site, and there's still 1 minute and 15 seconds left, but only 2 players from Heroic are on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. You gotta try and hold top floor as Heroic did, but it's so difficult unless you just hit your shots. They didn't. FaZe, they pick it apart. They got a minute to work with now, and to make matters worse, Astro and this Monty will make their lives even easier. You can just walk on in and plant the next 20 seconds if you want to. No one from Heroic can stop you. No C4s, no toxic babes. Sure, Uno's presence is still there near the bomb site, but he should not be allowed to live for much longer. And the moment he leaves the bomb site, well, that's when the plan can start going down. Astro has picked up that diffuser. FaZe are thinking the same things I'm saying.
I mean, Uno can do some damage here, but the problem is that the Monty's going to get all of his attention. Souls is right behind him, just waiting. That's Grizzly. 1v4, no real information. Inside of open area, he's got at least 1 call, but it's a mercy killing by FaZe. They're gonna need a couple more of those rounds to stay in this. They trail quite heavily, and the lead for Heroic means even 1 slip up, and you lose the series.
Yeah, mentally, of course, a tough game for FaZe, but also just in terms of sheer focus, this is going to be a long series if FaZe wants to go 3rd map of Villa. Heroic, in terms of mental capabilities, had a relatively relaxed bang so far on that first half on their attacking side, and I am corrected. Tactical timeout, taken early by Missed Officer. They want to win right now and not take any further.
I don't think this is a poor idea, to be honest.
I don't disagree, but I am surprised.
Our time now.
Let's listen in.
Let's show that we have learned. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, boys.
Yes,
Give me
sir.
some energy. Give me some energy.
Fucking go!
Boys.
I didn't hear any strategizing whatsoever.
No.
That was purely a motivational timeout.
Super important that we make play together on Windows if it happens.
I mean, they've got their super secret strat book in front of them.
With super important things, if certain things, they happen in a certain order.
Right.
Sequence of events, as Uno said. And honestly, watching Heroic now for a couple days in a row, the one thing that they always keep trying to improve on is like the energy, right? That let's go, motivation, hype, etc. Because every single time Mr. Offers can, that's what he will tell them. And the thing is, Uno as a leader is very much the opposite version of the let's go boys motivational. He is a proper Finn. A man of few words, wants to get the job done, and then go to his zone and have a nice relaxing day. And that's it. But Heroic, especially with these young players, I do believe in what Miss Officer is saying, where there's a lot to be gained, a lot of benefits, and having that very not crazy environment, but like we're celebrating, we're happy, we're building up this energy, because sometimes silence can be perceived as bad, it can be perceived as negative, when it doesn't necessarily have to be. Not everyone can thrive in that silence, but if you want to, you know, interview with Uno, he wouldn't tell you anything unless you asked him a literal question. So,
Quiet guy.
he's a quiet guy. There's nothing wrong with that. Noodle having an incredible performance so far in terms of raw numbers, 11-3. Of course, Slav second, right behind him with 10. Then Uno on 9, despite playing Monty for 3 rounds in a row. On the side of FaZe, it's pretty much a full team effort. Numbers are very close. There is one exception right now, and it's unfortunately Astro. And sure, he played Monty in that previous round, did a great job at both securing map control and the plant, but 1-8 so far has been a quiet map for him. Souls, when he's leading in the entry department, that's when FaZe are finding the most success, like we saw in that basement attack earlier on. But right now, he is finding himself back in a familiar role of playing Heartbreach. That was his primary role before the roster change that we just saw in stage number 3. So he should be very knowledgeable of what to do in this scenario. A jammer stops the wall from getting breached open. FaZe will have to deal with that first. No nades, no twitch stones. It might actually be a problem for him to get to open that 90 wall.
Look at Cyber's position here. Watching for this anti-flank. Down goes Joom again. He's dying early so often. Once FaZe Clan starts to get up to speed, and if they start to increase their momentum, you're going to look at these early deaths by Joom as the main culprit, right? He's a boat anchor on this team time and time again in this map. And that's not how he is. He's usually so good. So to play below his expectations and our expectations, it's harming this squad. Sloth almost died as well. He's got a bit of an innovative setup looking into archives with Noodle not too far off. Heavy focus.
We've seen
Look
this
at this.
before.
Vidaking's in the middle of the bomb site. Down goes Cyber to Noodle. Vidaking is in, and they know that because tracers will go by, and a nitro cell blows up. Vidaking is pulverized by Grizzly. The rest of FaZe will need to get in now. And Souls will drop through the skylight towards the stairs. Oh, gets spotted by Uno. Heroic, absolutely giving them a drubbing. Down goes Bullet, and it's the 1-8 Astro in a 1v3. Good for a single kill. The 2-8 Astro. Can he become the 4-8 Astro to keep his team in this? Oh, he's got 20 seconds. No diffuser. Kills will be the name of the game. And both Noodle and Sloth at one point were on that bottom floor. Diffuser to be retrieved by Astro. It will be objective play. He will forego the kills. Maybe bait them in. He's pretty much at the point of no return, and he has to get off that diffuser and gets off to his doom. Heroic 2-0 as they topple FaZe.
Go CEO, by the way.
Go CEO, by the way. Very impressive extra play from Heroic. FaZe, they had to work on denying those plans from going down. That cannot be a problem going forward in the future. And honestly, I thought this would be an incredibly tight series. And while the score is 7-3, there were some close rounds in that. However, most of them very one-sided.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I mean, even the stats in the second map. On Bank, Heroic got 6 diffusers planted. FaZe got 2 diffusers planted. That's 8 diffusers in 10 rounds being successfully planted. An incredibly lopsided Bank that very much favored the attackers. In terms of opening picks, Heroic only got 2 uncontested opening picks that entire map. And yet they won 7 rounds, enough to win it. I'd be defeated if I was FaZe. That's a heartbreaking match.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still in it.
They are.
But Heroic have surprised us. They've surprised me. They're not playing with their full roster, but they're playing up to a potential that I'm not even